Consider the triangle below. State the value of sine A, cos A, tan A, sine B, cos B, and tan B. Remember the mnemonic so, car, toa. Sine is opposite divided by hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent divided by hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite divided by adjacent. So if we start by looking at the A's, then angle A is just here. In relation to that angle, we know that the side next to it, the shorter side next to it, is the adjacent, or just A, as in A here. The side opposite that is the opposite. And of course, we should always be able to recognize the hypotenuse as being the longest side, or the side opposite the right angle. So, the sine of A is the length of the opposite, which is 12, divided by the length of the hypotenuse, which is 13. The cosine of A is the length of the adjacent, which is 5, divided by the length of the hypotenuse, which is 13. And the tangent of A is equal to the length of the opposite divided by the length of the adjacent. So that is 12 divided by 5. Remember, the order of the letters up here tells us what to do. We're now going to look at the angle B and think about sine B, cos B, and tan B. When we look in relation to the angle B, the opposite and the adjacent switch. Of course, the hypotenuse is still the same side. So in relation to angle B, the 5 is the opposite and the 12 is the adjacent. So the sine of B is the opposite over the hypotenuse, which is 5 over 13. The cosine of B is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is 12 over 13. Note how the values have swapped for the sine and the cosine when we look at the different angle. This becomes important in later work. The tangent of B is the opposite over the adjacent, which is 5 over 12. Note how that's the fraction upside down. So, these are all of the values that we were going to look at.